everyone, this is Marin, and you're listening to Homeschool Unrefined, the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun.
And this is Angela. You've got episode 130, How We Homeschool Through a Pandemic. We are going to get to that in just a few minutes. First, we wanted to say hello to all of you. Thank you for being with us today. We are imagining that we probably have some new homeschoolers or some unintentional homeschoolers. Hello to all.
By choice or maybe not.
By choice. Yeah. So however you are coming to us, welcome. We're glad you're here. A special hello to our Patreon supporters. If you are interested in supporting us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined.
A little bit about our podcast. Angela and I decided we wanted to start a podcast where we kind of changed the conversation about how we school our kids. And we wanted to empower parents to feel good about what they're doing right now, to feel like who we are as people, as human beings, is really good for our kids, and to not change too much about ourselves, to make education great. And so that really takes, I think, a lot of courage. And so we needed it for ourselves, and we decided, let's just start talking about it with other people so we can all have this conversation together.
This episode is brought to you by our $5 squad on Patreon. Patrons make our work possible, and patrons get more. 2 extra episodes every month, extended interviews, and this month only, if you join Patreon, you'll get our app school guide for free, which means this is the last week you can get it with your Patreon membership. So if you're interested in that, you should go to patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined. So many of you have joined this month. Thank you. We appreciate your support.
Also, this is going to be great for you if you're staying at home with your kids for maybe the first time, or maybe you've been homeschooling for a long time. You're still going to love this. We have put out a free resource for you. It's called Homeschool High Five. And it's just a bunch of categories, 6 categories with top 5 or just 5 ideas in each category of things you could do. Things your kids are probably going to love. It's something you can just tape up on your fridge and look at it whenever you feel like you need something. You're like, I need something to do. I'm going to go look at that. So you can go to homeschoolunrefined.com/high5 with the number 5, and you'll find it right there.
You can also just get it on the homepage, too. If you just enter in your email, you'll get it.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome.
All right. So because we have some new listeners today, probably we wanted to do a quick intro and tell you just a little bit about ourselves. I'm Angela. Marin and I have been homeschooling for, I think,
a long time.
I'm going to say like my 9th year. And you might be
7. I don't know.
Yeah. We have been podcasting for 3.5 years. So this podcast has been out 3.5 years. Marin and I have been friends for
20 plus. I'm not going to say
20 plus years. 20 plus years. We met in college.
Yep.
And so we've been friends that long, and it's, this is something we wanted to do together because we're both homeschooling together. And this is just a fun project that Marin and I are doing together.
Yeah.
I live in Minnesota. In the Twin Cities. I have 3 kids. They are 15, 13, and 11. And actually, my oldest is in public school this year. She's in 9th grade, and this is her first year. She decided to go to public school. So I've got one in public school. Well, not anymore, but one who was in public school this year.
Yeah.
And then the 2 are home.
Right. All right. So, and my name is Marin. I am actually in Austin, Texas right now. Our permanent home is also in Minnesota, close to you, Angela. And we decided this year to travel for a year. So we've been traveling around the United States. We're in Austin, Texas right now, and we're going to stay put for a while. So yeah, plans have kind of changed there too. So I have 4 kids. They are ages 13, 11, and 11. We have twins in there, and then a 9-year-old. So our 13-year-old and one of our 11-year-olds is going to a co-op right now here in Austin, or was canceled now for a while. And our other 11-year-old is trying out public school while we're here, and our 9-year-old is home with us. So
Yes.
full time. Yeah. So things have changed for us too. I mean, I think it's, I think we as homeschoolers kind of think, well, we're not really doing a whole lot different, except like a lot has changed, even though we do have a lot of the same schedules. A lot of things have changed for us.
Yeah. I mean, homeschoolers don't stay home.
We just don't. Yeah.
So things are canceled. All of our co-ops and activities and play dates and friends.
Right.
That's all canceled. So it's different for us too. I know it's a major change if you were working and your kids were in school and now everybody's home. I know that's a real major change. So
Huge,
we aren't dealing with that, but we are dealing with changes too. And so that's kind of what we want to talk through today.
Yeah, really. We want to be here to support you. We just love processing out loud together on the podcast.
So, yeah, and so we had an episode with Sharnae Gordon of Here We Read that was scheduled to come out today. And we are pushing that episode back so that we could bring you this. So tune in next time for that episode where we're going to talk about some diverse books, which we're real excited about.
Yeah. So why don't we just dive in here? And Angela, I was thinking we should probably maybe just start out talking about just how we're doing. Like, how are you doing with all this social distancing, maybe mentally and emotionally and everything?
Well, that's a really hard question to answer.
I know.
I mean, we're doing well, and we're you know, I don't want to say struggling.
Yeah,
but you know, there's some hard stuff too going on
it's
at the
great,
same time,
and it's hard.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's great, but we're I would say we're doing well amidst the circumstances.
Yeah, right.
You know, my husband is still working as of this recording. He's still going to work. So it's me and the 3 kids home, but we are not, you know, going anywhere. Yep. We're not going anywhere except outside. And so that is and like most of you who are listening, I'm sure it's similar. So that part is challenging, but I feel like everybody is kind of has this, like, everybody in my family has this feeling like, okay, we're in this together. Yeah. It's not like everybody knows they don't have a choice. And all of their other friends are doing the same thing. And so they feel like this isn't like mom's making them stay home. And isn't it unfair? It's not like that. It's like, I have to do this. And so everybody has a real good attitude so far. So far in my house.
I know.
How about you, Maren?
Well, I was thinking for myself, I have a real good attitude right now so far. We'll see where this goes. I was telling you yesterday, like, I don't know, with my I think my personality type is like new experiences, whether great or terrible, like I can handle those. Like I am okay with like short bursts of intense situations. It's just like the longevity of it is when it could break down for me. So we'll see where this takes us. But like right now, I feel really good where we're at. I have to say my kids are I think they actually are very happy because not because of the worldwide pandemic. We're actually doing a lot of education without trying to be fearful about it. But like, I think they're really realistic and they know what's happening. So it's like a heavy kind of like relaxation here because, you know, they're worried about things. And yet at the same time, like we have been traveling and moving for months and months now. And really it's been one of our biggest challenges this year is like getting our kids willing to, you know, go out and try all the new things that we've done this year. Yeah. Because some of our kids just not like naturally would never do those things. I mean, they're just like, some of my kids are just homebodies. And even my kids who are adventurous and love trying new things, like it's been an intense year for us. So to be required to stay home and only go out for walks, it has been kind of relieving, to be honest.
Yeah. I can definitely see that.
Our kids. Yeah. So, and there's been really no complaints here about it. Yeah. They're just like,
we should preface this by saying we're recording this a few days, one week in. 1 week
yeah,
in.
Exactly.
We're 1 week in. This could change in a few weeks.
I was going to say
tomorrow.
By the time people get this, it might be very different.
Yeah.
The situation might be very different. We don't know. Things are changing hour by hour. So,
right. And so if you are feeling like, well, that's not me, my kids are, going crazy and really emotional and all of that, that's fine too. Wherever you're at is fine.
And we're going to address that. We're going to address that for sure. But like where we're at is kind of a good spot right now. And, it could flip flop for us. It could certainly go downhill. I don't know. Maybe not. And for anybody who's having like a really hard time right now with this transitions are hard, very hard for some kids. And actually probably for everybody. But like some kids just really need so much support through that. And adults do too. Mm-hmm. So this could be the hardest part for you. Mm-hmm. And then once you get in a routine or figure out what's going to work for you guys, it's just, it could be so much better. It probably will. It probably will be.
All right. So first we are going to talk about why it feels different now. We are going to get to, and then we're going to talk about how you can support your kids through this. And then we're going to talk about actually, what are we doing for homeschool? Yes. Yeah. And I know that's what probably a lot of you are here to listen to. So, but first we feel it's really important to talk about why it feels different. For us, we talked about this a little bit. Everything's canceled. So all your co-ops, all your classes and activities and all the things that you really enjoy and look forward to, or your kids really enjoy and look forward to, are all canceled.
Right. And we talk a lot about, on the podcast, we talk about tentpoles, things that you can depend on every day that are going to happen. Like they're just on autopilot kind of. Those things are gone now, probably. Or they might be. And so that's jarring.
Yes.
Especially
jarring.
For kids.
For sure. Yeah. You might have a spouse home. In addition to having your kids home, you might have a spouse home. And so your whole family might be home all day long together. And, we
could do a whole episode on how to homeschool with a spouse working, in the next
room.
Your
spouse might be working. You might be working. You might have two parents working from home with kids who are supposed to be homeschooling. That is real challenging. That is real challenging. Yeah. You might live in a smaller house, or you might not have enough internet for everybody. There are a lot of logistical challenges that come with that, and then also relational challenges that will come with that. We'd like to say, oh, everybody's home. Isn't this wonderful? It's probably not. There's probably some challenges with that. So Absolutely. We just want to acknowledge that.
Yeah. And when your routine is off and maybe your kids' favorite food is not in the house anymore, and it's not on the shelves at the store. And sometimes that could be the tentpole that is the hardest thing for them. It could be the hard, who knows, but
or for you.
Exactly. Yeah. So, oh my gosh,
that's okay.
Sorry. Or, maybe you just don't even know when you're going to get more food in our house. This is where kind of the state of where we're at right now. I've looked a lot of places for a lot of our staples that, could be, sustain us for a while. They're not there anymore. And so that makes me nervous, and it could make kids nervous for sure. And then when adults are stressed or nervous, worried, anxious, kids are very intuitive about that kind of stuff. So any kind of energy we're maybe not even trying to give off, but we are, it can change the whole demeanor. And I'm not saying that to blame parents for how they're feeling and you gotta, get your stuff together. I just mean it's okay to feel anxious and worried right now. And this might affect your kids.
Right. And so that's why it feels different for them. I think that kind of stuff needs to be talked about, and we will get to that later too. The other thing that I'm really realizing in the last couple days, I started off this process by saying, oh, we have all this time. I'm just I have nothing going on. And then I realized, our calendar is empty. Everything's one by one taken off the calendar. So our calendar is empty, but there is more going on than ever. And what I mean by that is, I'm now trying to figure out how to feed my family from home with the ingredients we have at home. Yeah. That's different than just the regular old making dinner. That feels different. And so
Yeah.
That's a stress. We're trying to check in on our family members and friends.
Yes.
So, and that's good. I want to check in. I want to see how everybody's doing, but that takes time. You know, when there's this general anxiety going on in the world, it, like we talked about, it comes to our families, and I am the one kind of in charge of like, how's everyone doing? And so I'm checking in with all of the kids and how they're doing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You might be managing your kids like school. Maybe their school is giving them work to do, and you are trying to manage what they're doing. There's just there's a lot of extra things going on right now.
Yeah. I do feel like our kitchen is never clean anymore. It's never clean because nobody thought it was their job to do that. Because, you know, when our kids had all these things going on, I kind of started taking those kind of things off their plate, you know, cleaning up. When we were all at home full time, everybody had a job, and it was like a well-oiled machine. Everybody was cleaning when needed. Then we all joined things. And I started taking home jobs off their plate, which was fine, actually, because when you're not home all day, there's not as much to do at home. It makes sense. Now we're all home, and everybody forgot their jobs. Including me. I forgot what everybody needed to do. We need to reinstate those things. But right now, like, we're not in that habit. Our kitchen is a complete disaster, like, all the time. Even when we clean up, the dishwasher is already full with dirty dishes. So there's another pile waiting to be put in the dishwasher. Even if the rest of the kitchen is clean, there's a pile waiting to be cleaned.
Right. I know.
So, I mean, that in and of itself. And then also, I think the parent who stays home and does all these things, you know, who's kind of in charge of this new homeschool life, new or not new homeschool life, is often emotionally taking care of everyone else. You have your finger on the pulse of every child, how they're feeling, even a little tiny nuance of what's going on with them, you are probably sensing and you're noticing. And you're thinking about that, maybe subconsciously, but it takes so much energy to do that. And you're compensating for that. Like, you're working to help that child all day, whether you even probably realize it or not. You're like, there's so much going on behind, underlying.
For sure. That is a great segue into how can we support our kids through this, because our kids are going through stuff. They're going through a lot, you know, even if they're real young, they're picking up on this.
Yes.
And so I think one thing we can do to support them is to not ask too much of them.
Yes.
That may seem counterintuitive, because you are going from thinking, well, they're at school all day and they're doing all of these things at school.
Right.
And so they can come home and do all of those things. But really, they are dealing with this anxiety and uncertainty as much as we are. And so I think not asking too much of them academically and emotionally is key.
Yes. We have to remember, this is not school. And as much as we want routines to just stay the same, it would be great if we could say, well, let's just take the school routine and just bring it home, because it seems like that should work. It's probably not. And we have to be just aware of the changing mindset of everybody. Home feels different than school. It just does. And it actually probably is a good thing. Kids probably feel much safer at home right now than what's going on in the world. And that also means, like, their realness is going to come out. So kids can often step up doing, hard math at school, or writing, or whatever it is that's like really hard for them. They can keep it together at school because it's like this public area. And, we just do that. We know, we as human beings, like, know how to step it up in public. When we're at home, there's kind of this safety where we feel like I can tell my parent that I really hate this and I'm not doing it. And it can feel disrespectful to the parent, but it's really your child kind of like opening up and being vulnerable to you. Like,
for sure.
This is hard for me. And
for sure.
Yeah. So
it might look like a meltdown. It might look
Yes.
like a tantrum. It might look like stomping off, or I'm not doing this. It might look like disrespect, like you said.
Right.
And I think we need to come in with support
Yes.
and curiosity and connection during those times.
I love that
because-
curiosity. Yeah.
Yeah, like what's going on? What's
Yeah.
really going on here? Let's talk about it. Because there's probably much more behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how Julie Bogart says, if there are tears, it's over. Like, be
Stop.
done. Know
Stop what
that
you're doing.
That's the time to stop. So it's just not worth it. It's not worth the disconnect. Whatever you're doing, that child's going to hate doing from now on, maybe, if you force it. So it's just not worth it.
Right. So it's important to support our kids with more connections. And so they're going to need more than they normally get. More
Right.
cuddling, more hanging out together, playing games, reading books together. And you can even do that with teens. More
Yep.
watching common experiences, watching movies together. Maybe
Pleasant. Yeah. Pleasant common experiences. Yeah.
maybe you're playing video games together.
Yes.
You know, all of those things that you're doing together as a common
yeah.
common experience is
Yeah.
going to be really, really important.
One thing that I've had to learn, and my husband has really had to learn, like we're both working on this, but like, because I'm home all day, I guess I practice this more. And so he works on this so hard, is to like get into our kids' world instead of them joining us in our world. And that is a love language for kids. And so if you've had just a horrible experience, and believe me, we all do with, you know, with a child at some point, find a way. I just really suggest like finding a way to get into their world and have a positive experience in something they love. So if it's a Minecraft, like they want to show you what they built in Minecraft, and they can explain every little detail about like how they put this lamp right here and how, I mean, just those little details of what has been going on in their mind is such a gift too, because you're really getting to know your kids. And then the next time there's a meltdown, you are more informed.
Yes.
You have all that, armor now.
Or you've connected. You've had a point of connection. And so
Yeah.
then when things get hard, you can at least rely on, like, we had this good time together. We had this connection.
Yes.
You talked me through what your YouTuber was talking about.
I shouldn't say armor. I should say tool. You have
Tool.
another tool. Yeah.
You have a tool.
You have
My
a tool.
kids like-
you have a memory.
Yeah. My kids like to talk to me about their YouTube channels and
Yes.
what they're watching, and like,
Yes,
or
yes.
this TikTok, or
Oh my gosh, Angela, I did a TikTok last
you
night.
did. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to see that. Should we put that in the show notes?
I could.
Yeah.
It was
so
the shortest, easiest one.
okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it was for that reason though.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's your kid might ask you to do a TikTok, or they might want to talk about this movie, or whatever it is, and you're like, oh gosh, I gotta sit and listen to this. Yeah, and think of it like I am connecting with my child right now. Like they are loving this. They are loving the attention.
It is kind of a safeguard. It's being proactive for the next crisis that's going to happen.
You're putting connection in the bank.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing we can do to support our kids through this is having I'm just calling it a flexible routine.
I love it.
I feel like the word routine might even be too strong, versus like a rigid schedule.
Yes.
I like to say, like, for example, for us, from 10 to 12, that's kind of our general work time. That doesn't mean at 10 o'clock, everybody's in the dining room and we're all sitting at the table doing work. That's not what that means. That means generally my kids know, generally in the morning, we're going to all do some work together. If it doesn't work out that way and we decide, to do something different during that time, it is fine. It's just so I and they can start the day, go, like, kind of being able to predict what's up ahead.
Yeah. I like that you're being realistic with times there.
Yeah.
Like it's not 8 a.m. It's 10 a.m. So that's different than school. Right.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
we have to be kind of okay with maybe it's better that they're just, sleeping in a little bit or whatever.
Well,
if that's their thing.
That helps their immune system. I am so
does.
big on sleep.
I know.
sleep is one of the healthiest things you can do. And so this is a chance to let your kids sleep in. I think you should.
I have to say too, for me personally, it is like the thing. If I don't get enough sleep, I get sick. I can do a lot of other things and not get sick. I can do other unhealthy things and not get sick. But if I don't get sleep, it's my kryptonite for some reason. And I think my kids do. I do. Yeah. I think my kids do. So, yep.
So we are going to talk more about exactly what we're doing in our flexible routines later. But we just wanted to mention that is a good way to support them rather than having like a rigid to-do list or a rigid schedule.
I like that because, okay, so then to have this flexible schedule, I love that. But then it's also predictable. So it's like about 10 o'clock, we're going to probably do something together. Yeah. And it doesn't mean it's going to be like a math worksheet or, you know, anything. But I like that it's predictable and it's also short. And this could be shorter for younger kids. You know,
for sure.
It doesn't have to be 10 to 12. But it's also this time that your kids know if they ask for iPad time, you're probably going to say no. Or, you know,
maybe,
it's just, or, you know, they can, and I feel like my kids just really accept that more when it's, you know, an expected thing. Like 10 to 12 this is when I, you know, don't go off and do my own thing. The rest of the day, I kind of have that freedom. It's just good to know they have the freedom. The freedom's coming. But like right now, we're just going to do something together. Anyway, I like that. I really, really like that.
So it's also important to support yourself through this. You are probably the, you know, your family's manager. You are probably your family's emotional manager. You are probably your family's food manager. You are probably managing all of the household tasks and stuff. So you are going to need lots of support during this time. So this is a time when you need to really ramp up that self-care and do things proactively instead of reactively. So it's really important for you to find some alone time during the day. Or to do whatever it is you need to do during the day.
Right. I think the other day you texted and said, I'm prioritizing naps. And I said, I'm prioritizing getting outside of the house by myself. And that obviously doesn't mean like going anywhere public, but like I'm going out into the woods.
On a walk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Actually, I'm kind of prioritizing both of those.
Yeah,
so
good.
I'm really ramping it up. Naps are good. I or even just a rest, even just laying down and shutting your eyes are really good. And so,
I agree. I needed that yesterday too. So I was like, I think my first priority is getting out, and my second priority, but it's like a close second, is resting.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And so whatever it is that you do, whether that's going for a walk, doing yoga, stretching, doing your exercise video, maybe you are binging a show.
Yeah,
whatever.
Doing that.
Maybe you are reading. Maybe you're listening to podcasts.
And put it on your schedule. It might not be, you know, where the kids see it necessarily, but maybe if they do, it might be good for them to see it on the schedule.
Yeah.
Too.
So
it's like, this is when mom naps.
Yeah, and I know that's hard when you have young children. Yeah, I understand that that's really hard. I know that's might be hard when you have a spouse in the house or not. Maybe you don't have a spouse in the house, and that's hard. So I know this can be challenging, but I think whatever you got to do to get that time is important. If you have to put your kid in front of a device or a movie, you need to do that. And I'm giving you that permission right now. Yeah.
And
that is really important.
Especially in small spaces, this is going to be a challenge. I do. Yeah. I mean, oh gosh, yeah. I've lived in so many small spaces, and I know it's hard, but I do know it's doable too. I think the older your kids are, obviously, the easier it is. But I remember when my daughter, my oldest, was 2.5, and she was kind of done with naps. But I was really, really not done with her taking naps. I physically needed naps every day. I had twin babies, you know, and I just remember the only way I could nap is if we watch a video in the living room and she curls up like in the crook of my knee and she'd fall asleep like on my leg sometimes, or she would just, you know, sit there and watch a video. And I was like, this to me was like the thing I would never do was like, let her watch a video while asleep. But I have to tell you, it saved my life. It did.
Yeah.
It saved my life during that time.
I think we need to let go, and this isn't really the category to talk about this, but I'm just going to say it. I think we need to let go of the shame that you may feel about how much screen time your kids are having. This is not the time to implement major screen time restrictions. I think that's maybe important, and that might be important later. Right now, we're all going through something collectively together, and you probably need that. You might need that, and your kids might need it. And so now's not the time to fight with your kids about screen time. I'm not saying don't have any restrictions, and I'm not saying like let it be a free for all the time. But I'm saying I think you need to relax. I need to relax what I normally think is a reasonable amount of screen time.
And something I've been learning lately too is, and this kind of goes along with supporting your kids. This is kind of 2 for 1. You can like support your kids and yourself by doing something with them that's enjoyable. You could watch a movie that, you know, together, or play a game together or something. Because for me, it's really good to be present. I have to tell myself all the time, be present. And when I'm right there, I'm enjoying it. But it's just the act of doing it that is it feels almost impossible to me, especially when there are so many things to do around the house. But when I'm doing those things, I never feel like I'm doing enough, or I always feel like there's more to do, or I always feel like
it feels indulgent, kind of like I don't have time to do a 2-hour movie here.
Exactly. But it might be better for everyone if you just do that. Better than cleaning the kitchen. It's probably better for everyone, you know.
Yeah. So. Yep. All right, so we want to move into some tangible ideas for things to do during this time of expected or unexpected homeschooling. I want to say before we start that I think it's most important to remember that the priority of your family and yourself during this time is everyone's health, and that's physical, mental, and emotional. Obviously, we're all caring about our physical health right now, and that's great. Our mental and emotional health is the priority.
So anything we plan here is to promote that, and it can't be in spite of, despite
it's secondary. Like any academic things or any school, quote unquote, school-ish type things are really secondary.
Right. Or anything I decide to do needs to promote this physical, mental, emotional health. Maybe that is academics. Maybe my kids would feel safer and more comfortable if we have this academic schedule every day. If that is the case, then do it for sure. But if it's not, if it's like, well, I'm going to make them do this for a while, but I know like their mental and emotional health is going to go down for, while we do this, it's just not worth it. Like, no. It's just not right.
Not worth it. So your kids are learning all the time. And this is something we talk about, practically every episode of our podcast.
Exactly.
Your kids are learning all the time, and they really don't need much academically right now. If you are a new homeschooler and you weren't prepared, you weren't planning to do this, I just want to let you know, it is okay if you do 0 academically for the rest of the year. It will be okay.
Yeah.
It will be okay if your kids do nothing more academically, and then they start next fall at school and they start doing academics again. It's going to be fine.
Even if the school is sending homework, you're in charge right now, and you know what's happening in your home and with your family and what needs to happen.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be really hard for some. I mean, if a school was sending stuff home and saying you need to do it, I'd have a really hard time saying no to that.
Yeah.
But I think it's important. We are the safeguard for our kids. We are the gate. We are the ones who get to decide what's going to happen right now.
Yeah.
And we're the ones here.
I mean, I have to say this is hard for me. I have, like I said, my oldest is in high school, and she is getting loads of work to do right now. They've moved to online, and she's working hard all day long. I don't really feel like it's an option for her to not do it because she's in high school.
Yeah.
But I do feel like what I can do for her during this time is support her and create some boundaries around that.
Yes.
So that she is not overwhelmed. A lot of
Good.
the stuff she is getting is optional. Which I think, probably a lot of schools are sending optional stuff, because they think, well, people need things to do, or they want things to do.
And
or
some people do.
And some people do.
It's good to have the option.
Yeah. But we need to do what's best for us.
Yeah.
And so if you have somebody, who doesn't have to do school, it is okay to not do it. And it is also okay to just pick and choose. What I don't think you should do is recreate school at home. And so your kid might be in school from 9 to 3. And so you don't need to do something from 9 to 3 every day, like straight up academics from 9 to 3.
Exactly. And yeah, in fact, I would suggest not doing that.
No,
Definitely not.
No, definitely not. So,
all right. So maybe we should just move on to like what we're doing right now. What are you and I specifically doing right now?
Okay.
And I just want to disclaimer, this is not for you to you do not feel like you have to copy this, but if you want to, you can. If you want, I just want to know what you're doing and I want to do it. That's great. I understand that. I've done that before. Just tell me. But also just pick and choose what works for you here, or maybe nothing will.
Right.
But we wanted to give you an example so you'll probably hear this and you'll be like, oh, okay, I don't have to do as much.
Yeah, I feel like there's
probably
so many
less than you think.
There's so many disclaimers. I feel like what I'm doing right now is actually too much, and I'm going to be paring down. So I feel a little weird telling you, because I want you to know that I am actually going to pare down. I'm starting today paring down, and then tomorrow I'm really going to pare down.
Yes, I think we're all going to find that.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you, but actually I think this is too much. We are doing, like I said, 10 to 12 is work time. So that means my kids are sleeping in until then. I have 2 teens who sleep in, and they sleep in until 9:30. And that was our compromise, because they would sleep in until noon. And I think that's fine if your teens need that much sleep. So
yeah, they do.
I think it's okay if they sleep till noon. For us, I wanted us to kind of be on the same schedule. And because my 11-year-old doesn't sleep in that much, I wanted us to kind of have all of our family time kind of together and be in the same routine. Right. And so our compromise was 10 o'clock we're starting. And so they sleep until 9:30 and that is working out fine. I feel like they're getting enough sleep. So 10 to 12 is work time. My oldest during that time works on her schoolwork. The interesting thing is she's also FaceTiming friends during that time. I mean, her friends at school, they're all FaceTiming while they're doing this work, which I think is great.
That's awesome.
It's so awesome.
I think that's so great.
Yep. And then my other 2 homeschoolers are doing, they have a couple things that I'm requiring. And I mean, I'm using the word require. I put it in air quotes.
Loosely.
It's a loose requirement. It's just here's some things you could do. We are doing ear reading, which is audiobooks, and eye reading. So I am saying, and this is what I say during the year too, 30 minutes of ear reading, 15 minutes of eye reading. That's what works for us. You could do something different.
Yeah.
And so my kids kind of already know that. So we're doing that. We are doing a little bit of math. My kids do an app for math. They do Beast Academy, and they are doing 1 lesson. These lessons take 10 minutes. So they're doing about 10 minutes worth of math. Yep. They're also doing dog chores. They are doing, they take martial arts lessons, and their martial arts teacher put some stuff online. And he's doing a video of the day, which I love. So they're each doing that during that time. My 13-year-old is in a writing class through Brave Writer, and that's still happening because it's online. So she is doing the Brave Writer work. But honestly, that is not much. She had 1 assignment this week, and we did it on Tuesday, and we're done. So we did the writing 1 time during the week. So that pretty much takes up our 10 to 12 work time. The other things we're doing is we are doing the lunchtime doodles with Mo Willems.
Love it.
That is the one kind of fun extra thing we're doing. We're all enjoying it so much. You can put that into YouTube and find it. Yeah. He is, so I feel like he has this kind of Mr. Rogers kind of quality to him, where he's kind of just a gentle talker.
He's real calm. Yeah.
He's calm. And so we are really enjoying that. So we're doing that together, usually like around lunch. We're also getting outside. I'm requiring my kids to get outside 2 times a day. So whether that's, we're still kind of cold here in Minnesota. Yeah. So, and it's a little rainy, so it's hard, but they're getting out once on their own. And then we're also going for a walk together.
Great.
And then we are doing rest time in the afternoon. So during that time, I am taking a nap. I am listening to podcasts. Yep. I am doing my thing. And during that rest time, my kids I told them naps are strongly encouraged. I don't know if they've taken a nap, but they are also doing their own thing during that time, like probably iPads. I think they're doing some screen time during there. Also, I have my oldest is doing lots of music now, which I'm just so thankful for, because
is so amazing.
She's home now. She doesn't have school. And so she's getting to do all these things that she doesn't get to do when she's in school. Yeah. So I am loving, she's like playing piano and playing guitar, and just like, it's just so, like, it just warms my heart so much.
It's a dream.
Yeah. And so I'm happy about that. There's more like listening to audiobooks and coloring stuff like that is going on.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much our day.
And
like I said,
great.
it feels like a little much too right now.
I know.
Sometimes.
I know. Yeah.
And so we're going to pare down a little bit. So why don't you tell us what you're doing, Maren?
Well, that sounds really similar to us. In the mornings, so one of my oldest gets up really late. She just wants, same with your kids. Like, she would sleep really late if she could. She's 13. The other 3 kids wake up probably about the same time as me, maybe between 7 and 8. Now, these days, we've, slowly been getting up later as we don't have to be places in the morning anymore. And it's just kind of like, we all like to not talk in the morning. So we're listening to audiobooks on our own. Some kids are watching cartoons and stuff like that. And so we're just getting our own breakfast. It's real chill around here. Yeah. Sometimes I go for a hike in the morning by myself. So this is where my self-care comes in, because sometimes what happens for me is I load up the day, and then by 1 p.m. I'm like, I'm never going to get out on my own. So it's good for me to just do it in the morning, even though that's not necessarily my ideal time to go out to do something on my own. But right now, this is when it's working, because one of my kids is already asleep. So and then the other 3 just need this chill out time in the morning. Anyway, it's a good time for me. And then I'm taking your lead on the 10 to 12 thing. I really like that. So we're doing some things in the right. It's just like, I wouldn't even say it's like necessarily academic-y time, but it's like, it's our time to come together. Like, I want together time. My kids want to do their own thing all day. So like, this is our compromise. 10 to 12, or I don't even want to say 10 to 12. Like, at some point in the morning, I'm putting on our little whiteboard. I have like an 8x10 little whiteboard that I've been bringing while we travel, and I'm just writing down the schedule, and it's just stuff that I have planned. So it might be, a tutorial video on something. We're doing read aloud. And I have to say about read aloud, I started one read aloud that I thought was going to be great. Nobody was into it. And I was making them sit there and do it. And I realized I don't want to live this way anymore. And so I let them choose a different one. All right. Yep. I gave them an option to change, and we changed. And it was the best decision for us. Yeah. Now we're all enjoying it again.
That's good.
Yes. So we're doing a little read aloud, and I'm trying not to overwhelm them with that either. When they were younger, my kids would listen to me read for like an hour. They would color and draw and build and eat and do all these things while they listened. And it was magical. And that time is not now. That's not happening anymore. Yeah. We're done with that. So they will listen, but it's maybe 15 minutes now. Yep. And that's okay. Or it's one chapter maybe. And I'm okay with that now. It took me a long time. to
I
be
hear
okay
ya.
with it. Oh,
I hear you.
so hard.
I have to say, I just need to interrupt. I forgot to say, I am doing read aloud too, but I'm doing it
Yeah.
individually. And it's the
That's
same.
so great, too.
My kids used to sit for long periods. Now we're doing
Yeah.
one chapter. One chapter with the
Yes.
11-year-old, one chapter with the 13-year-old. That's it.
So great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? You're getting it in though. I mean,
Yep.
a little drop, like
Yeah.
it will fill a bucket eventually.
Yep.
So just keep at it. And then, or don't. If it's not working for you, don't. It's
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
They can get literature other ways. And then I sometimes put math on the board, but really, sometimes I'll say, we're going to play this specific game. It's, a math game. That's what we've been doing since the pandemic, since we've been home, social distancing. So I'm easing our way into any kind of academics with math right now. And in any academics, I'm just easing our way in. That's why we're doing 15 minutes of read aloud. And for math, we're doing games right now. I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you all that I bought a ton of games because, we've been traveling and we've been traveling light. And so we don't have games. And so I bought some just because I knew we were going to be home for a long time. So we are doing Racco.
Yep.
I also bought a game called Proof, which is like a mental math game. It's a mental math card game. Super excited about that. It looks so great and simple. I love simple, easy games. You can just pull them out and play them. And chess. I got chess. My kids love chess. I'm trying to think of what else we have. Anyway, those are the math games that I kind of like pulled out right now. Or just playing cards too. Cards is usually math oriented, right?
Sure.
So, or even Monopoly. It's got money. It's got dice.
Yeah.
Those are all great. Just something where they're, thinking. So we'll do that. And then, I feel like that takes up, I don't know, that goes fast.
Yeah. Great.
And then we've also been doing the Mo Willems, doodling. I don't know how long that's going to last. I love it. I think my kids love it too. I think they do. I don't know if they're always going to love it. And I know we're going to talk about this later, but like, this is going to work. Sometimes things work for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And then they don't work anymore. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. And like you've said, it doesn't mean you failed at that thing. Like that's a bad thing. It was the time it worked. Right. And now it doesn't work. Now we need to find something else.
Yeah. You might put in a routine for your days and it might work for a short time and then it will not work. You did not fail. That is going to happen. I don't think anybody will keep the same routine throughout this whole experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to say, I forgot one thing. And this I think is going to help so much. Just recently, just like yesterday, I reinstituted chores in the morning, which wasn't possible before the pandemic because we had things to go to a lot in the morning and it was too much for our kids to do morning chores. I've reinstituted and they are not, you guys, these are not too much. It's a little bit, but it's making a big difference. One child is doing the top shelf or putting away the top shelf of the dishwasher. Another child is putting away the bottom shelf of the dishwasher. Another child is, doing the garbage and another child is doing the recycling. So because those things are taken care of in the morning now, like we can fill up those things now throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And that has been, it's a game changer.
That's awesome.
And then also I've rehired this because we got busy for a while. We stopped doing this and now I've rehired my 13-year-old to do the kitchen cleaning. It's like she actually likes to do it because she has an audiobook in or whatever, or a podcast or something, and she likes to listen to stuff or watch something while she cleans. And so she cleans up the kitchen. And so she's gonna do that after lunch every day for sure. And maybe other times during the day, but like especially after lunch is so important.
Yes.
Yeah. So these are things that like weigh on me all day when the kitchen is a big mess. And so now I just know that's going to happen.
It's going to get taken care of. Yeah. That's
at
great.
At least at those times. So, I've hired her to do that. And then, and you guys hiring your kids to do things is like, totally
I know
worth
this.
it.
I also have hired my 13-year-old. She is cleaning she's doing lots of cleaning around our house. This is deep cleaning, and she's doing it pretty much daily. I mean, she is doing it daily. She's cleaning our kitchen. Yeah,
That's
she's
awesome.
cleaning our kitchen twice a day and doing one other kitchen chore. And then she's also cleaning our bathrooms once a week. And then she's also cleaning the floor once a week.
Oh my gosh.
And she is motivated to make money.
That's great.
She's really good at these chores. So it's an all around win-win for everybody.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
We have instituted like clean day, a cleaning day, and we've been doing it on Saturdays, which I think we'll continue doing, and I'm loving that too.
Yeah.
I don't know why we never did this before, but it seriously takes an hour if we all do these things.
Yeah.
So one person so this is on Saturday one person is doing the bathrooms, just cleaning the bathrooms. One person is doing surfaces. This is after we declutter. First, everyone declutters the house. Then one person does the bathrooms. One person does the surfaces. So there's cleaning all the counters, all the tables, all the end tables, everything.
Smart.
Around the TV,
I like that.
whatever. And then one person is vacuuming, and then one person is mopping. So it just is that is a lot.
It's a lot of work.
And it really doesn't take long,
Right.
if everybody does their job quickly. So
what are you doing in the afternoons?
okay, sorry. Yes, I derailed the conversation. Okay, in the afternoons, then after Mo Willems, we all make lunch together. Sometimes, like for some of my kids, I make lunch for them because I want to make sure they're eating healthy. Other kids, I'm like, or sometimes what I'll do is just cut up the veggies and put them in the middle of the table.
Just do that part.
And everybody else makes their own lunch. Chicken nuggets, hot dog, whatever it is. But, or I don't know. I feel like because I've given my kids like kind of this kind of freedom to choose their own lunches, as they get older, they're choosing healthier lunches, which is awesome. Like,
wow.
My 13-year-old is making salads and I don't know, rice bowls and just lots of great things.
Yeah, that's great.
Really, quinoa and eggs. I don't know. It's amazing. Anyway, stuff I would make, but I'm loving it. And then ideally things get cleaned up then, and then I'll go outside. Everybody needs to go outside. So often that is we all go for a walk together or go for a hike together. Yesterday, I let two of my kids go to a store, which I'm not sure how I feel about, but there's a store like a mile away and we needed milk. And so I had them go to the store on their bikes.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And made sure they were really careful. But yeah. And then so one kid did that, or two kids did that. One kid just played outside in our backyard. And then I took my youngest out on a hike, just the two of us.
Yeah.
And so finding that time with just one kid was really, really, really great.
Yeah.
It's good for that kid. It's good for me. It's good for everyone to have, some freedom being outside. So we did that. And then it's just then it's rest time. And that's when I'm totally fine with screens at that time. And, I do the same thing. Like I either go, if I haven't gone on a hike yet for myself, I do that then, or I will watch something, listen to a podcast, that kind of thing. But I really try not to do too much work. Sometimes I do have to do work on for the podcast, or order groceries or something. I don't know. That's my time to do things too. So I'm really trying to protect myself from doing too much at that time though.
Yep.
And then we will, there's a point where I'll be like, it is time for us to be off of screens. I often give them warnings, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And then we play games. Kids can either play games, go play outside. The games have been we've had a renaissance, a game-essence right now too, because, I sometimes think, I don't think my kids are into games, but actually if we hit the good games, if we get right games, it works.
Yeah.
Or I have some kids who are really into sketching right now and drawing, and my 9-year-old is loving writing everything all the time. So she writes notes to people. This is where that kind of stuff happens. It's probably about 4:00.
Yeah. Wow.
Or so, 4 or 5 o'clock or whatever. And then we make dinner, we eat, we clean up. And then by the time Sean gets home, also, you guys, Sean is working. My husband is still working in his office, which I don't know how long that's going to actually happen anymore. He did call me yesterday and said, what do you think about me working from home? And I was like, I mean, I was like, I have hesitations about it. I think it's probably the right thing to do. But we are going to need to stick to our schedule. I just said, I tried to have boundaries about it, because I think he needs to do his work. We also need things too. So,
right.
I just said, it's going to take some work. We're going to have to be really intentional about what everybody needs there. So, cause he does not, we don't have an office for him to work out of.
Right.
So it's going to be in our bedroom. Probably going to be in our bedroom. So, what am I going to do for my quiet time? I don't know. So we'll see.
Okay.
And then after dinner, we've been going for a family walk in the evenings.
Okay.
Just in our neighborhood, and we've been watching like CNN 10 and then sharing a show together as a family.
Yeah.
Like we've been watching Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
Yeah.
And I think that has been, I love ending our day on a high note like that.
Yeah. That's
We've
good.
also instituted more showers. Everybody needs to take more showers. So we're on a shower schedule for the most part. My oldest, we have her on the schedule, but she really doesn't necessarily need it. She likes to take showers a lot anyway. But so everybody is taking showers too. Not everybody, but like we have a schedule for shower taking at night now too. So.
That's good. Yep. I think it's really important during this time we've said this, but I just want to underscore build in rest time for you and your kids. That is, that should be in your routine. When is everybody going to get their rest time? And for your kids, that might mean screens, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that's important during this time is prioritizing connection with family and friends. So we are all, socially isolating. So I think it's more important than ever to do the things you need to do to connect. And there are so many great ways to do that now. FaceTime, Marco Polo, Voxer, text, Zoom, whatever it is, whatever platform you're using. I think it's a great time to use those things. And even to get other family members on them would be great.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. Go ahead.
I was going to say, my kids spent a good chunk of the day yesterday. My 11-year-old spent 2 hours playing chess online with his cousins, and they FaceTimed at the same time. This was during our quote unquote morning work time. So he did not do academics. This is what he did. He played chess online on a website called chesskid.com. We had to set up profiles and accounts, or my sister and I did. And then the kids played. And then, he's on the computer, and then they FaceTime audio. They did audio FaceTime. Yes. So they were able to talk to each other while they were playing chess. And it was great. It was great. His cousins live far away, but even if they just live a block away, you're not supposed to see each other. Yeah. So this is a great way to connect. So I just think making that a priority, if them FaceTiming grandma and grandpa for a half an hour takes lots of energy and time, that's that's good.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say, and our schedule is always changing. I like your flexible routine idea. Like yesterday, I went on a hike. I came home. The kids had decided to start watching Toy Story, one of the Toy Stories. And we didn't do
great.
It pushed everything back, and I was like, great.
Yep. That's great. They decided that together. Back. That's awesome.
Yeah. They all chose a movie together, and they're happy about it.
Yeah. That's so great.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
There's so many things being offered right now for free online. So many great, exciting opportunities like, museum tours and author readings and free classes. And I am, on the one hand, so excited about all of that because I wish that was always available to us homeschoolers. On the other hand, it's super overwhelming because they all sound great and like you just want to do them all.
Totally.
But you're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
And so try not to be overwhelmed by that. Try to just, be thankful that it's there and pick a thing. maybe one thing that you're going to do.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I get overwhelmed when there's a list of 100 things to do that I can't.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah. So this is
also, I have to say, like, some of my favorite, I like the people who are offering things that I already wanted, or, people that I follow already, and they're offering one thing. That's great. Mo Willems, I already read his books. We already love him.
Yeah.
So for him to, for us to be doing his doodling with him, that is a natural like thing for us to do.
Yes.
I just, but it is great to like offer. This is where I just get a little overwhelmed. I'm like, well, it would be great if my kids did listen to this opera, because when are they ever going to get to do this?
Yeah, right.
These famous opera singers are offering concerts. I want to honor all of our time. I mean, even though we're home all day, we still have a limited amount of time. Still have 24 hours in a day. We can't do it all. So,
right.
I want to be very wise about what we choose to do.
Right. So this is a good time to just tell you about our High Five guide. This is a free download, or digital download, right? Where you can get ideas for things. So do you need ideas for what to watch on Netflix that's educational? We've got you. Do you need ideas for good podcasts for your kids? We've got you. So we've got a list of all of these. It's very simple. You don't have to do them all. They are just ideas for if you're needing things. You can get that for free on our website, homeschoolunrefined.com.
The great thing is everything is hyperlinked too. So if you have it on your computer, you just click on it and there it is.
Right.
You've got the resource right there. But also if you just want to put it up and it, like I said, if there's ever a time where you're like, what do I do right now? Here you go. Like just put it up and look at it, take a look at it, and you'll find something great.
Yep.
And something you could do, which, you can use this guide to help you do this, is you can put some new apps on your kids' iPads.
Yeah.
And there they are, and they're there for your kids to explore. That might just be like, like you said, there are things that we need to just change things up sometimes. And that might be a great way to like put some new zest in your
I think
days.
one thing I'm going to do in the next couple days is I'm going to put some new apps on my kids' iPads, and I'm going to have a time like, hey, this time right now is exploring new apps times.
Great.
Because if I give them the option, they will go to their favorite apps. They aren't going to try my new one. And so I'm going to give them time to explore those new apps. And on our High Five guide, we have some apps on there that we're recommending. We also have a completely separate app guide. If you need like a comprehensive list of the best apps, we also have that on our website, and that's for sale for $5.
Yeah, great. I also just want to plug our LTW Extra that we did this week, which is in Patreon. If you have been thinking about being a patron of our podcast, which supports us and helps us do this, we have a great LTW Extra this week that just came out
this month.
And it talks a lot about, like, when I was talking about the games I just bought, I added all those games into the notes of that episode. And there's just, we're talking about just all the things that are helping us right now too.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to loving this week.
All right. Angela, what are you loving this week?
All right. I am loving, probably like many of you, I am loving Love is Blind on Netflix.
Yes.
I have to say, I am not a huge reality show fan.
Me either.
We are a Survivor family. We love Survivor. That is our reality show. I also listen to the podcast, and they recap The Bachelor. I don't watch The Bachelor, but I listen to Bachelor recaps, because I think they're funny, but I wouldn't like have a desire to watch The Bachelor. For some reason, I'd been hearing everybody talk about Love is Blind, and I thought, well, I'll just try it. And I am hooked.
Me too.
You started it too. I know.
After you told me about it, I was like,
okay.
I mean, I heard it from, like, there were a lot of people I follow, like famous people I follow on Instagram are talking about Love is Blind. That made me like, really? I
feel like this is the perfect escape for you, and just like to take your mind off of what is going on. I think it's perfect for that. And a lot of people have Netflix, so I think it's like accessible, which I really like. So this is, they have, I don't know, a group of men and a group of women, and then they like date each other through these pods where they cannot see each other. So they're just talking in these pods, right?
Yep.
And so they're like dating one person, dating another person, dating another person, and pretty soon they like, really like a certain person. They gravitate more towards.
It escalates really quickly.
It escalated really quickly.
They have a short timeline,
like a week,
very short.
Like a week. I want to know. I need more details. Like, how many hours a day are they dating people? Like,
I know.
How much time are you spending getting to know this person?
Yeah. What's your schedule? When do you set up a date? Like, do they both have to make a list of who they want to see again, and then if they line up, they go?
Yeah, I know. I want to know all those things too. But
do they know who's going to be in the pod when they get there?
I think so.
Sometimes they're like, "Hello, oh, hi."
So at the end of like a week, there's proposals. They propose to somebody when they haven't seen him yet, and then they're engaged. Then they meet each other.
Then they see each other.
Then they see each other for the first time.
Engaged.
Yep. And then there's 6 weeks of them like going on a honeymoon, moving in together, getting to know each other, and at the end of the 6 weeks they get married.
Oh my gosh. How far are you into it?
I think I finished episode 6. But unfortunately, I'm watching it with Jeremy, and so I got to wait for him.
Yeah.
I can't, otherwise I'd have been done a long time ago. But I got to wait for him.
This is not the show Sean would watch, I don't think.
He wouldn't?
So, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No. So I'm watching this on my own, which I'm fine with because then I get to watch it whenever I want to, I guess. But I'm on episode 2. So basically there's just been some engagements.
Right.
And some disappointments. I am feeling for these people.
Well, also they chose to do it. So
I know. Well, okay, so they got themselves into this. I do feel like when I started, I was like, this is not possible. And now I'm like, wow, this could be possible.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I like that the focus is not as much on like what you look like. Obviously in the beginning it's not. So I really like that. I like that it's even, like there's the same number of men as women. The women have lots of agency. I like that. And so I feel a little bit better about watching it, but so that's my LTW. What is your LTW this week, Maren?
Okay. I am loving a new wedding ring, basically. Silicone. It's not a diamond or anything. It's just actually kind of like a wedding ring replacement that you can wear. It's silicone that you often wear like for exercising and working out. A lot of people do this now, apparently. But I'm actually wearing it all the time now because I'm in Austin, Texas. It is so humid here. My fingers are like sausages right now. I'm not kidding you. They're like, I mean, I am just always like, I think I have a lot of water retention right now. And I could wear my ring, my regular wedding ring, but it's just not comfortable.
Yeah.
Anymore. And so I thought about just not wearing a ring, which I could definitely, I'd be okay with that for a while, but I just like having a ring on. And so this is such a good replacement. And it actually kind of is more my style than a big diamond ring anyway.
Yeah.
And it doesn't snag on my clothes, which my wedding ring snags on everything all the time. So I'm actually really, really loving this ring. And it was, I'm not kidding you, $10.
Did you get it on Amazon?
On Amazon, yeah.
Do you know what it's called?
Okay, so I have it right here. It's ROQ is the brand. I don't know. I'll put a link, but it's ROQ. Rock, is that?
Sure.
Silicone wedding ring for women. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll put a link in the show notes.
Tons of colors. So I actually got a pack of like, I got a 4-pack. So it's like silver, white, turquoise, and black. So you can kind of switch it up too, which I like.
Is it bad that I want to wear this anytime?
Anytime. I know. I might want to too.
I know. I don't wear my ring as much anymore because it's just not comfortable. For me, it's not comfortable. And once I get out of the habit, then I don't.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wonder, like, if I lived here full time, would I just change the size of my ring and it would be more comfortable?
No.
Maybe.
I don't
No?
think so.
No.
I think it's still uncomfortable.
It just doesn't change sizes. I mean, it's just, it's just.
Yeah.
And
doesn't
this
expand.
is just, it doesn't expand. And this just does. It just feels really nice.
Right, because when you come back to Minnesota, your wedding ring will probably be too big in the winter. I mean, because it slips off because it's like so cold.
Yeah.
Not slips off, but it gets
That's
loose.
never been a problem for me.
Okay. Okay.
So, does yours do that in the winter?
Well, mine gets loose in the winter, and then in the summer, it gets too tight. It's just, I don't know.
So this is perfect.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I actually just like how it looks. It's just so simple.
Yeah. Right. I know. I've been. She just showed it to me.
Yeah.
I've been admiring it.
Have you?
Yeah.
On Marco Polo?
Yeah.
We do polos.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. If you're new here and you want more homeschool talk, we've got 130 episodes. So knock yourself out.
I mean, you could binge us if you want to.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you'd want to. But yeah, so you are welcome to do that. You can also find us on social media. We are, we do a lot on Instagram. That's our favorite place to be. And we're Homeschool Unrefined on Instagram. We're also on Facebook, Homeschool Unrefined. And we have this Facebook group, Unrefined Homeschoolers, where we'd love to have you join there too. We have our website, homeschoolunrefined.com, where you can find the app guide. You can find the high five guide. You can find our show notes and links to everything that we talked about. And we will see you next time with Sharnae Gordon talking about diverse books.
Thanks for listening.
Homeschool Unrefined is created and produced by Maren Gorse and Angela Sizer. Ethan Miller is our editor, and Amanda Ginn is our VP of all the important things.